Okay, hello my darlings, it's Michaela. I just fought with the text feature on this live video for a little bit. So my intention this week was actually to talk about perimenopause and menopause and how your fuel usage can actually make your symptoms kind of disappear. But we're going to talk about that next week. So I wanted to talk about better boundaries today. And so the thing that really inspired this conversation was our group call today for fat burners, which I'll get into a little later. I'll cite an example, some stuff shared. But at any rate, I just thought to talk about having better boundaries. And this is something that is super consequential in the realm of weight loss. So you could struggle with this or need to have good boundaries around a variety of outlets or kind of typical behaviors or habits that you might want to uphold. So, that could be around exercise, that could be around getting to bed at a certain time. But what I really wanted to talk about tonight was more so about eating and drinking. So when we don't have good boundaries, when we don't do what we intend to do, we tend to, we go against ourselves and we often feel regret. So a principle, I guess I'd say that I have is that I think we should do whatever the hell we want in general. So if you really want to do something, you should do it. And if you don't really want to do something, you should not do it. What I think a good way to live is to aim to make decisions that are free from regret. And so that doesn't mean that you're always doing something supportive. It doesn't mean that you're always doing what you intended to, or the right thing or the best thing. If you are doing something that you really want to do, it's well, that sounds like maybe that's the best thing for you right now, especially if it is coupled with a lack of regret. If regret is attached to it, if regret follows it, that's a problem. And it's also a problem if you continue to make choices that reliably have regret attached to them, because then we're just kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. We're acting in a way that's really foolish. And the thing that I want to say about that is that I can relate to that, doing shit that it's fuck, I didn't really want this. I didn't really mean to do this. I ultimately don't want to do this shit. This keeps me running in circles. And so as someone who has absolutely lived that life around food and alcohol, I now have a different relationship with myself, I guess, and certainly with boundaries. And I would like to share some of my wisdom in terms of how today is so different than in the past, when I would just say one thing and do something else, and both feel a ton of regret, a ton of shame, honestly, and also just be spinning my wheels, staying in the same place. So I'll also say that, well, maybe I'll talk about that at the end. All right. So regarding food and alcohol, so the first thing that I want to say is that, and actually maybe this kind of cues this up. So on another coaching call, a private coaching call with a particular fat burner, she made the statement, she's like, Michaela, I never could have done this in the past. I never could have not had a snack after dinner. I never could have ignored the voices in my head that were calling to me from the kitchen cupboards after I had gone up to bed and watched my shows to go downstairs and eat my kids' snacks. She's like, I never could have resisted that in the past, but I do now. And so, but the thing that I highlighted to her is that she doesn't have the call anymore. her body is not calling out for starchy, sweet treats anymore because her physiology is different. So I just want to make this distinction first of all, which is if you are running on sugar, it's really hard to resist the stuff that your body is like, ah, that looks so amazing, like, or I need this and I want this. So we'll talk about that at the end, but I just want to make that distinction that your body's cries for something that you're saying, no, I'm eating cabbage today and, boiled chicken and that's it. And your body is pushing you to do something different. That's very different than I'm full, I'm not hungry, and yet there's like a pan of stuffed manicotti and wine to wash it down that your family and friends are eating while you're in their company. So peer pressure is a real thing. And so basically, it's like if you're in an environment, what a lot of people do is they think, because I'm here, therefore I have to do this. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. Rule number one, if you really want to do something, you should do it. Rule number two, regret-free living. Don't make choices that end in regret. So it's like, if you really want to do it and you're not going to regret it after the fact, go with God. But if two is questionable, then you need to rethink one. Okay? So peer pressure is real. And so even if you're like, I am freaking full, I don't love pizza, or I don't love how it makes me feel after the fact, or I said I wasn't going to drink tonight, and you have people around you encouraging you to eat shit, drink shit. The thing that I want to say is that stuff, hi Sharon, hi my dear, that stuff is powerful, but it's not an inevitability to have to go along with it. And so we're going to talk about how to do that. But the thing that I want to say also, so not only is having shit in your face hard. I used to have a therapist when I was aiming to step way back from alcohol. And she said something like, Michaela, something like you don't go to a bar when you're trying not to drink. It was like, maybe people can, and I can at this point in time, but it's like, if you're trying not to do something, it is harder to be around the stuff. Additionally, we're like pack animals. And so we have this, what do I want to say? Like this tendency to want to do the same stuff that other people are doing. And I feel like there's an element of acceptance that's pretty powerful. And then there's also kind of a primal wiring of dying if we're not connected to this pack. So I think that the acceptance piece feels somewhat real. It's like we all want a sense of belonging, really, and to feel, welcome, wanted. And so to kind of do the same shit as other people is somewhat reasonable, but it's not a necessity to have your family and friends love you still, even if you're not eating at the same time as they are, which I feel like people feel like that is a real need. My mom gave me cheesecake and, she made it for me, and it's like, do what you want and make sure your choices don't end in regret. So however that looks. But anyway, obviously we know that we're not at risk of dying if we don't stay with the pack, stay with the behavior of the pack in that moment. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little reality check on that, or to encourage you to check that out with yourself. And maybe we all have different reasons in terms of why we feel like we need to kind of go along with what other people are doing, but it's a good thing to revisit, to be clear on, because this stuff, I'll just say, it's a pretty powerful undercurrent. And I think that what a lot of us do is we think, I just shouldn't do it, but we don't actually examine why we're doing it. And I'm going to say we might probably not do this next little tactic, which is pretty freaking powerful. So there's something called, so if this matters to you, like if you were someone like me who felt like I, kind of made these promises to myself, and then I would just like fold when I was in a particular situation, and I would like buckle and do the shit that I said I wasn't going to, and then I would feel shitty about myself and feel regret, feel ashamed, and then like start this cycle again. So there's a really, so 3 years ago, something like that, 5 years ago, actually, I challenged my relationship with alcohol. So emotional eating, if you know me, that's the only reason why I started to learn about how to eat in a particular way that helps with weight loss. So for me, kind of like out of control, compulsive binge eating was a regularity in my life. Like I did not know how to feel. This is what I did just to cope. And so what I did was I tried to manage that from the outside. So let me exercise more, let me figure out how to eat in a manner that helps reduce the impact of what I'm doing. And the truth is, this is why I believe anyone can succeed with fat burning, because it was born, my like relationship with it and like sharing of it was really born out of dysfunction. So even if you struggle with overeating or emotional eating, there's a place for it in fat burning. And not that we stay there, but there is space for it. Anyway, so my roots, emotional eating, and then over time, I would say like 5 years ago, I just felt like I was in a relationship that had too much alcohol in it. And so even within it, I would have boundaries. So it's like going to a bar was like a pretty frequent occurrence, like on a Tuesday night. And it's like, I don't want to drink all the time. Like, I don't want to feel like it feels to have alcohol in my system. Like, I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to look older. Like, I don't want to be putting poison in myself with regularity. And so I still had boundaries, but I still wrestled with drinking, I would just say, more than I wanted to. So I did my own research. And one of the practices that actually, I'll just say this, there's a great app called Reframe that's for anyone that either wants to stop drinking or to drink less. And so I wanted to drink less. Like, I think alcohol can be so fun, but my desire is to use it very infrequently. And that's what I do now. So anyway, this app is fucking awesome. I would totally check it out if you want to change your relationship with alcohol. But one of the elements that was in it, one of the practices, was something called updating the reward center. So in our brain, there is, I don't even know what segment it's in, there's a part of it that's called the reward center. But basically, when we have a relationship with something that we think brings us pleasure and we engage with it, and it actually brings us regret, disappointment, harm in some way, shame, we said earlier, then it's like, this thing actually isn't really that pleasurable. Like there's a flip side to this. So a really effective way to get on the same page as your current day reality is to do a practice called updating the reward center. And what that looks like is basically whatever this topic is, whether that's overeating, whether that's like, oh my God, I ate so much fucking food like every Sunday, and I say I'm not going to do this again at my family's or with my partner or by myself or whatever, or drinking. That's like kind of the topics that we're talking about right now. But you could do it with anything, hanging out with a particular person, revisiting a relationship. You can do this. So essentially what you do, whatever your topic is, you have 2 columns. So we've got pros on one side, all the reason why you fucking love this thing. And then on the other side, we have cons. So the like real downsides, like the things that you do not like about this behavior, this substance, whatever it is. And what you do, what you might find, what I found when I did this on alcohol, this is the example that we're using, is that the pros long was pretty lengthy. And it was pretty substantial. It was like, this is a party in a bottle. Cocktails are delicious. Like, this is like, you know, instant, like a celebratory situation. It's fun to do with other people. And it was like, this is like, oh shit. Like, there's a lot of reasons why I like drinking. And then on the other side, the cons, I wrote down all of the stuff that I did not like, that felt terrible. And so it was like, you know, this makes me hungry later. And then I eat a load of like bullshit food. And then I gain weight to some degree. And that makes me feel terrible. You know, it's like, I feel shitty the next day. This is speeding up aging. What else? It's like a ton of extra calories. It's like this, you know, I feel so, it's like I waste the next day. I'm disconnected from my intuition. And so I just wrote out the cons, which dwarfed the pros. And then what you do is you rate them 1 to 10. Like 1 is no big deal, 10 is, oh my God, severe, significant. So even on the pro side, it was like, yeah, this is kind of a 10. Like, this is a 9, you know? It's like, this shit is fun. It's like memories, special times. And then the cons, it was just like double the length, and like just as intense, just as severe, just as significant, more. And it was like, oh my God, this isn't fun. Like, fun doesn't have double the regret. It doesn't have double the like pain of pleasure. Fun is just fun. And so what you do is this updates your brain. It actually lets you know now, present day, how this actually is for you. Hi, Marissa. Hi, my dear. And so what you do is you make these lists, you rate them, and then you look at them again and again. And what that does is it creates this new reality. It it refreshes like the truth in your own mind. So then when you're faced with the opportunity, whatever that is, where I'm talking about alcohol, it's like you don't forget. You don't think, oh, this is going to be so fun. Ooh, I said I wasn't going to, but ooh, I kind of want to. It's like the truth is in your face because you put it there. And then what ends up happening is, then when you have this new reality and you're faced with the opportunity, it's really easy to say no, because it's like, well, this actually feels like shit. So I don't really want to do this. And the truth is, so anything that you feel like has like a pretty tight hold on you, this is a really good practice to do. This is like neuroscience. I don't know exactly like what classification of science this is under, but this is real deal shit. And what's so exciting about it, this is something that I totally love. The body is logical, the brain is logical. So if we're continuing to do shit that it's like, fuck, what's the matter with me? Like, I don't want to be doing this crap. Like, here I go again. Though your reward center has not been updated. You're continuing to do stuff that you think is actually like fun, pleasurable, rewarding, but in actuality, it's not. And so doing a process like this is super useful because it gets you current. And then you just have facts kind of top of mind because you look at it day after day for however long, and then it's just super easy to follow through. So anyway, I would recommend anybody do that for anything that you struggle with. If you're like tired of banging your head against the wall and feeling crappy about yourself because you don't follow through on this thing, do this. Excuse me. And then I'm going to say better boundaries. What's super easy is when someone says, ooh, you should try this. Oh my God, this is so delicious. You'll just have a sip, just have a bite. It's like, it's no big deal. You can you can cheat on your diet, or you've lost so much weight, you should get rewarded, take a break. And the thing that I want to say is that all of that is like not helpful. People mean well, but that's not how change works. For us fat burners, we have deliberate carb feasts. That's why I encourage people to have alcohol if they're going to, because it's like we are doing something that feels kind of excessive, and we have a container for it. We don't do it all the time, but we do it with frequency. So it's like we have this kind of these deliberate times of indulgence, and then we just get back to business the next day. It's like, it's no big deal. So when we start to color outside of those lines, that's when shit gets fuzzy. So however you're approaching whatever you're doing, if you're trying to create change, you need to have some sort of structure. And even if that's like, you know, I do this on the weekends, or, you know, I did this yesterday, so I'm not doing this the rest of the week. You have to have some sort of order, or else it's like, you know, if you're someone who's social, if you're someone who has a spouse or a partner that's like loves to cook or loves to, you know, enjoy their wine or whatever it is, or your family like cooks big, if you're around it and you don't have structure, it's like, and you have people that are aiming to be persuasive to have you participate with them, it's just like, it's a matter of time. And the thing that I also want to say about this is like tough love, but I think this is actually like quite tender as well, is that it's easier for us. Like if we have a structure, meaning like today's a yes, tomorrow's a no. Today is a no, tomorrow's a yes. And so it's like you take the struggle away. It's an option today. It's not an option tomorrow. And so again, not a crazy person, ultimately. Do what you want to do. Rule number 1, do what you really want to do. Rule number 2, make sure it's free of regret. So anyway, then when you're in a situation that's like, oh boy, you know, what makes it really easy, like for you to stick with what you intended, to have boundaries around what you intended to do, is you just have to keep your eyes on your prize. And what that means is, I think the double whammy of, this is a really useful way to stay with what you said you were going to do, or to, yeah, that's it, period. Whether that's you alone or you with others, is both to think about what you really want and also to think about what you don't really want. This is actually like what helps me to take my supplements like every day, which is I think about, like, there have been times where I forget every once in a while. It's like, fuck. As soon as I remember, I just take them. Like, with food, empty stomach, who fucking cares? I'm just taking them today. I'm making sure I get the dose for the day. But the thing I want to say is, I think about what I do want to get. This helps me to, like, function well, look youthful, like, stave off illness, you know, have my body heal. And then also it's like, it helps me to kind of eliminate the concern of degeneration. So it helps me to not have like premature aging, degeneration in my body, whether that's like allergies, asthma, arthritis, high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, you know, just like, oh, my body's so like creaky and sore, you know, needing forever to recover after exercise, feeling tired, getting sick, developing other degenerative diseases like cancer or heart disease. So it's like, I just put this whole fucking mountain of like, I don't want this on top of my choice. And it's the same thing with alcohol, or even overeating, or eating late at night, or eating a bunch of like bullshit food when you don't really want to, and you know it's going to end in regret. And for fat burners, it's like, have the bullshit food at your carb feast, no problem. So anyway, that's another really useful tactic. If we think about, ooh, that's going to be so fun. Oh my God, I bet that's so delicious. Like, I've been wanting chocolate cake. Like, duh, it's almost my birthday. Like, if we think that stuff, if we think like, you know, oh, I haven't had a Manhattan in forever, like whatever it is, we will have it. So like the quickest way to engage with the thing is to put your attention on it. And so it's like, so to make things easier, I think this is actually a really useful part of this. I'm going to say this too. This is like from my heart, which is, I think often when people have issues or a hard time with following through with certain things that they want to do, whether that's exercise or eating in a certain way, drinking or not drinking, I think they think that the reason that other people can do it is because it's easier for them, or because they're able to do something that's really hard. Actually, that's what I think people think, that they're able to do something that's really hard because the person that's struggling with it is trying to do something that's really hard. And because it's really hard, it's pretty hard to do. Additionally, if it's pretty hard to do once, it's not so attractive to do again. And so that can be a really easy reason to just like back down, because it's like, I can't fight this fight like every fucking time I see pizza, you know, or my friends want to go out for drinks. It's like, I can't do this. But the thing that I want to say is when you do these two things, for sure, updating the reward center and then keeping your eye on the prize. I do want this. I want to be in my fucking like rock star, like lean, sexy, shapely body, like by summer, for that wedding I'm going to, by the time I'm 50. Like I want to have the things that I said that I want. And so you have to stay focused there, and you have to stay focused on what you don't want. I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to look old. I don't want to fucking let myself down again. I don't want to have to buy bigger clothes. Like, I don't want, you know, what's going on with my health. I don't want it to get worse. I want to be here for my kids. I want to be able to like run around with my kids. So you have to keep those things top of mind. And when you do keep those things top of mind, especially in addition to doing that reward center updating, then making a supportive choice is unbelievably easy. And that's what makes it possible. So I think that when people struggle, they think that the people that can do it are just doing something really fucking hard, that they're like able to do something really fucking hard. And what I want to say is the reason why they're able to do it is because it is easier, and they are doing things to help it to be easier. Okay? This is the same thing with fat burning, which is like I said also in the first bit, is that when your body is calling out for stuff, alcohol, it's like, hopefully we're not talking about alcoholism here, but it's like if your body is calling out for particular foods that you don't want to eat, that is really freaking hard to like la yourself away from, and to do that kind of indefinitely. That's really hard. But when you're a fat burner, you're less hungry, you don't have cravings, you have plenty of energy, and then you have carb feasts like frequently. So then it's like you're not even craving this shit, and you still have a designated day for it. So it's like, it's just so much easier. What do I want to say? I'm like, I am almost done. I don't know if anyone else writes things down and then can't read their own language, their writing. Oh, I wish I could understand what I said there. Anyway, so we had a fat burner call today on Tuesdays at noon. And basically, so I've dubbed it What Gets in the Way. And essentially, it's meant to be a call where people can come for any reason, for community, you know, to make sure they know what to do this week, to have, you know, questions be answered, or to like talk about shit that's like getting in the way. Like, fuck, you know, I did this thing, whether that's like I'm feeling really stressed out, or, you know, I keep hanging out here and I keep eating like calzones and tequila, and I would like to stop that. And so we talked about our carb feast. We talked about diet fatigue, which is a real thing. And then we talked about this concept or this phrase, which I love, which a fat burner, super long term fat burner, lovely lady Nancy, mentioned the other day, and it's delay, don't deny. And so that's I would say like a principle that we use in fat burning. Delay, don't deny. So sometimes it's like, not yet, not now, later. It's never no. And so I think that that's important for everybody. Like if you're aiming to lose weight or aiming to do any given thing, but especially with weight loss and choosing to eat in a different manner, when you are being very conscious, and I'm going to say selective, because as a fat burner, you can eat anything some of the time, really. But for the most part, it's like we're not eating Oreos every day. We're not like drinking alcohol. We're not, I mean, some fat burners do, honestly. Some have, and that can work, but it's not ideal. What was I going to say? And so when we have this mindset of delay, don't deny, it's like it gives us the sense of choice, freedom, agency. And I think that's really important for people. If you tell yourself, I just can't have blank until I've lost 20 pounds, it's like, well, good luck with that. Like the fact that you love whatever it is, donuts, chocolate, cake, amazing bread. It's like, and you just expect yourself to like wait forever to have it. That's generally pretty unreasonable. And so what a lot of people do is they set themselves up to do something that's unreasonable, and then they can't follow through, and they feel disappointed and are hard on themselves. So I am encouraging you to recognize that we need a break. When we're aiming to eat in a particular way, we need a break at times. The brain requires that. And if we don't give it to ourselves, the body will say, fuck it, at some point, sooner or later. So anyway, delay, don't deny. Just be deliberate about it, which makes it a lot easier. And then, what was I going to say? So I'll just say, so finally, better boundaries around food and alcohol. So I started off saying that the reason why I know about this stuff is because of my own beginnings with emotional eating. And that, and then I had a point with alcohol where it's like, this just feels like too much to me. And I don't want to be reliant on it. Like, I don't want to be reliant on it for pleasure exclusively. I don't want to be reliant on it to like handle like a stressful family situation. I just don't want to be reliant on it. And so by both updating the reward center and then keeping my eyes on the prize and just like fucking working this shit, especially with emotional eating, and then having a body that supports supportive choices easily, now it's like I am so rock solid when I'm in an environment, like I'll go out to dinner with people and not eat because it's like, I'm not hungry. I've eaten once today. Like, this is social. Food is not social to me. Food is like fuel, and it could be social. Holidays are amazing. Like, but I like to eat a lot when I like to eat. And I feel like when people eat often, it's like this casual affair. Like they have like, you know, half of their teeny portion and get the rest to go. And it's like, that's such a bad move for insulin, which is why I don't do it, which is why fat burners don't do it. So anyway, so if you are someone that wants better boundaries, the person you need to be thinking about the most is you. And so when we think about how other people feel, this is what I hear a lot with fat burners, especially in the beginning. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want them to feel bad. I don't want them to feel awkward. I don't want to feel awkward. And the deal is, you need to take care of you. Nobody gives a shit if you are eating or not eating. It does not affect anybody else what you are doing with your own body. And furthermore, you need to make sure you're taking care of your own body. So sometimes I'll hear people talk about like, well, my kids want this, therefore I'm having it too. And it's like, you're not a child. You're not growing. You're not growing. You're trying to lose. So eating whatever the heck they're eating isn't necessarily necessary or appropriate. And again, if it doesn't fit these two criteria, do you really want it? Then you should have it. Do you not really want it? You should not have it. You don't love your child any less because you're not having ice cream with them at the same time. And so again, if it doesn't matter and if it's totally perfect, that's amazing. But if you have health issues, if you have extra weight on your frame, if you're actually trying to create some change and you're deviating for shit that you don't really want just because your family is doing it, it's not a good move if it keeps you in the same spot. Okay? Update the reward center. And the thing that I also want to say is that when you update the reward center around stuff like this, it probably does include your family. And I know for myself, many fat burners have gotten into a fat burning mode, have lost weight for their kids, for their family, to be healthier, to be active, to have more comfortable knees, to have more energy, to be around for them. And so eating ice cream or like pizza or bullshit food because your kid wants it when you know that it is absolutely not helpful for you is actually kind of foolish for the two of you. So anyway, please consider that when you're considering that. And again, it's like, do something else with them that like shows, where you're together and shows how much you love them. But eating is not a way to show anyone that you love them. Like, love is an act, and eating is like a requirement for your own body, not for someone else's well-being. Anyway, so that's it. That is basically it. We want to make sure our choices are things that we really want to do and not things that we don't want to do and that are free from regret. We want to understand that peer pressure is a real thing, and it's more from our like pack animal mentality. We all want a sense of belonging. That might even be like more important, honestly, than our own like physical survival. Like, we need that. So we need to make sure we have that in ways that are beyond just doing the same shit as other people at that moment. This is like, we all jump off a bridge. What was I going to say? We want to update the reward center. We want to make columns, pros and cons. We want to rate this shit. And then we get real time awareness about how good it is for us or not. We want to keep our eyes on the prize. And that's like, I want to think about all the shit that I want from this thing that I'm doing. Because it's like, I know for myself, I'll just say, I like torment myself at times, like, looking at like the food bloggers on Instagram late at night, like in bed. And it's like, would it be so amazing to have like something like rich and chocolatey late at night when you're like a little bit hungry? Like, fuck yeah. But I just like put the mountains in my face, which is like what I really want and what I don't really want. Eyes on the prize. And then the other thing is like, you need to take care of you. And so your Like, it's easy for me to say. You're number one. Put on your air mask first, whatever, oxygen mask. And the truth is, if you do have children, like, and you're wanting to do things because they want to do things, do that sometimes. Don't do that all the time, especially if you want to create some change. And if some of your diet and health moves are in order to be with them, to be like in a better state with them, then absolutely do not do that shit. That's crazy. Okay? So if you are a person over 40, a woman over 40, who is tired of spinning her wheels, of working hard, and both feeling like either you're doing everything right or that it feels hard to do the things that you believe to be right, please consider Fat Burning. Fat Burning Pro, we have a 5 and a 13-week program that is designed to have you undergo a mitochondrial reconstruction where we literally build, repair the mitochondria, the energy producing unit of your cell, to the tune of it being able to burn fat for energy, your body fat for energy. And what that does is it just naturally makes you less hungry, craving free, have an abundance of energy, slow aging, make weight loss easier, weight gain harder. You look, function, and feel better. And the whole goal of it, hi Denise, hi my dear, is really why this all goes in the positive is because your metabolic health gets improved on the way. And this affects symptoms of perimenopause, menopause, and it's because of your metabolic health. And that's what we help put in good standing. That's why this stuff is crazy and magical and works. Okay? So if you are someone that is in the market for such things, please be in touch. If you're curious about this, please be in touch. Check out our sugar quiz, see what percentage of fuel you're burning. And if you go down that road, there are a couple videos following. Please check them out. And there's an opportunity to have a call afterwards should you wish to have a conversation about where you are and where you might wish to go. Weight loss does not have to be hard. And there's a lot of stuff that you can put in place to make it really freaking easy. On autopilot is really the truth. And improved health on repeat as well. Okay? Anyway, I hope that was useful. I hope some of these tactics stood out and will stick and will be used because they're incredibly helpful. And I think that one key thing that people believe, which is basically, if this is hard, the only people that can do it are the ones that are able to do really hard stuff. And my response to that is, the reason why other people can do it is because it's easy. And it could be easy for you too. So I would like to break the bubble on believing that shit has to be hard because it is hard now. Things could change based on where your metabolic underpinnings are situated. All right, that's it. I hope that was amazing. Please be in touch for any reason. Hi, Ray. Love to you. And until next time.